days of old, beneath the sun, our fathers lived as one. They prayed at dawn, worked hand in hand, guardians true of this sacred sand. From ancestors' love, we rise again, one nation, heart, soul, and chain.
This is the story of resilience. This is the story of rebirth. This is the story of rebuilding the nation they left behind.
There was a time when the storm never ended, when our leaders forgot the people and our nation was left behind.
They left a nation broken and cold.
They call it leadership,
Dreams were sold,
but it was survival for the few and suffering for the many.
From darkness to dawn, our spirit aligned,
rebuilding the nation they left behind.
Our streets were wet with neglect, and our people stood in the dark. When greed replaces governance, storms are no longer from nature. They're born from power.
Today's problems are the result of yesterday's short-sighted solutions.
They ruled not to serve, but to survive. The nation trembled. Decisions made in greed drowned a generation in debt. Even in our darkest hour, when lives depended on hope, they stole from the breath of our people. Lives were traded for profit.
While our people were locked down and struggling to survive, those in power abused their officers and their staff for pleasure and profit. They forgot their duty. They forgot their humanity.
Mega projects stalled, promises abandoned. Development became another word for delay. By the end of their rule, our debt reached 120 billion Maldivian rupiah, a record high. The World Bank and IMF warned them to stop, but the warnings were ignored, and debt became our identity. They saw loans as solutions and greed as growth.
Mounting foreign debt is now the main challenge confronting the Maldives
The
government.
rupiah lost another 12% against the dollar this week.
Government debt is at a record high.
Foreign reserves are nearly exhausted.
The Maldives is now approaching bankruptcy.
Credit rating agencies have sounded the alarm.
Their ministers and state companies' heads competed. Who could eat more from the nation's wealth? Millions flowed to those already rich. They called it compensation. We called it corruption. Over 1 billion rupiah was paid to party-linked companies. One took 30 million in the name of compensation. Public companies became private playgrounds. Our resources turned into their rewards. Auditor reports exposed millions missing, projects unfulfilled. They invited foreign personnel into our islands under secret names and called it cooperation. They sold our sovereignty for silence. When leadership loses morality, a nation loses its reflection. When a nation loses its values, corruption becomes culture. We were left without direction or dignity.
When respect was lost, even the simplest promises felt heavy, yet some things remain. A single rose reminds me, it's worth carrying for the ones who still believe.
The people woke. Hope began to move through the streets of our capital. They rose for freedom, against corruption, against injustice, and against the selling of our nation's soul.
This is a freedom, fill the sky. No longer afraid, no longer denied.
September 30th, the people said no to corruption, no to debt, no to deception. The day the nation spoke, the ballot became our thunder.
From the ashes we rise, with courage divine.
A new era began. A patriot took the oath. A builder stepped forward to rebuild from zero, turning silence into motion and delay into pride. For the first time in history, services like ATMs, ID cards, and passport services reached every atoll. Equality was no longer a promise, it was policy. Digital transformation arrived not as luxury, but as liberation, the bridge between our islands and the world. A new generation writes our code of progress, creative, confident, connected. A nation rises when faith returns to its heart. Our values became our strength once again. Unity grew not from politics, but from shared faith, shared future, and shared love for our Maldives. Foreign control ended. Our borders, our skies, our security, ours again. No foreign boots, no hidden hands. Sovereignty restored, proudly Maldivian. Modern technology now guards our borders, eyes of our own soldiers watching every wave. New vessels joined our fleet, strengthening a force once forgotten. From north to south, harmony replaces division. We breathe unity again.
Darkness to dawn, our spirit aligned, rebuilding the nation they left behind.
The nation's economy began to breathe again, built not on borrowing, but on productivity. Small and medium enterprises became the heartbeat of recovery, citizens leading the economy forward. Fishermen, once unpaid, now receive their earnings within hours.
Morning, here's your full payment, everything's cleared. Next in line.
We're working again. The sea is our future.
A promise kept to those who feed the nation. Faith in our schools became foundation, not formality. Education rooted in belief and dignity. To save our youth, the government banned tobacco for the next generation, a historic move toward health and hope.
Today, the Maldives proudly introduces the generation ban on tobacco, protecting every child born after 2008 from its harms.
Entertainment turned into empowerment. Health became the new trend of our youth. Empowered by values, Maldivian women led with grace, guiding families, islands, and futures. Our youth, once lost to doubt, now dream in the colors of the future. We walked through storms to find our strength and discovered ourselves along the way. For the first time, every vulnerable heart felt seen, compassion restored as policy. For the first time, Quran competitions received the highest national recognition. Allowances granted to every Hafiz, honoring those who carry the word of Allah in their hearts.
Our children are learning faith and our hearts are at peace. We are thankful for a leader who stands with Islam, who reminds us what it means to be Maldivian and Muslim. Thank you, President Dr. Muizu.
With independence came peace. Confidence returned to our people. Innovation became our new currency. Digital growth our new freedom. Youth were given chances to build, to dream, to lead. They threw away respect. We picked it up again. We found our dignity in the rain.
The past leaders destroyed our nation, our values, our youth. They left us broken, with nothing but debt and despair. Today, we must rebuild our nation from zero.
Our children no longer inherit despair. They inherit a dream. It's not just a flag. It's every heartbeat that believes in this soil.